Welcome back, everybody, to Kinkoi Golden Time, where we are about to do the route of Ria, the after story, the Append for Ria.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Brace yourselves. Here we go.
懐かしい声が聞こえる。浅く夢を見ているような時間の中で、いつも見ていた夢のような時間の中で、懐かしい声が聞こえる。
Soma.
そうまくん。懐かしい声が聞こえる。懐かしい声が聞こえる。くわあ。
What's with the sigh?
She's just preparing herself for the rest of this, just like we are.
せっかく退院できたのに、もう冬休み終わってんだもんな。
But you don't go to class.
It's true. Our busy New Year's had passed. Ria had somehow recovered after temporarily being in critical condition. She rapidly took a turn for the better and was discharged from the hospital. After all, the longer she was in the hospital, the weaker she tended to get. It was better for her to get to the hospital during emergencies, but best if she went about her ordinary life otherwise.
イチが学校行ってる時間つまんない。
Well, you could come with us.
Don't say that. I'm there in the morning, but I've been using my expert planning as an excuse to come see you in the afternoon.
Up to our good, usual habits.
午前も一緒にいたい。
Don't say that. I already don't want to leave you as it is. Besides, for as much as you say you want to be together, we wouldn't actually get more time together if I skipped.
確かに。
How are you today?
ちょっと眠い。
Don't push yourself. Get some rest. Want to sleep at my place?
お願い。夕方には起こして。
Yeah. How about a lullaby?
バーカ。手だけ握ってて。
Squeeze. Good night, Ria. Sweet dreams. Once Ria had fallen asleep, I left her and headed outside. It was still expert plan time, and the dorm was as silent as could be. And
ウィース。
Hey, what's up?
チャコペン忘れちゃってさ、取りに来たの。リアちゃんは？
Asleep.
so usual.
そっか。寝る周期戻らないね。
Lately.
Ever since Ria left the hospital, she'd been sleeping more often than not. We weren't sure why. Her condition had improved, and even Ria admitted to feeling like she usually did. It wasn't as if she was never going to wake up again. It really wasn't. Pat pat.
Where'd this come from?
別に。
She petted my head out of nowhere. Can I get a coffee milk with that?
彼女持ちに膝を提供するってのも不死だらだしね。ま、今日はこんなもんで。
Just pat pat, who's a good boy?
It's me. Ouro's a good boy.
頑張れ。
She headed back to school. Do your best, huh? Oof.
おー、あかねちん。今日も頑張ってるね。
Today?
レイナ先輩。はい。お正月休みを取り戻すためにもです。うんうん。頑張りんさい。努力って大事。はい。頑張れか。
That's what I said.
辛いこと言っちゃったかな。
What should I do my best toward?
はあ、忙しい忙しい。あら。
You're back, huh?
She'd come back with all of her school-related luggage in tow. Unlike Reina, she appeared to have left school early.
Today too? Is your expert plan gonna work out?
私のエキスパートプランは業界各社を呼んでの情報管理部門ですので、正直学校で教わるようなことって何もないんです。
Okay then.
あんなレベルの低い集まりよりずっと上が定位置ですので。
That was some astounding confidence. She wasn't wrong, though. I highly doubt they could teach the very person who created Maria Bishop anything more at this point.
それよりも
That was a quick change. Jokosaki swooped the bag she was holding onto the table. I could see some Napa cabbage and an onion.
Gonna make dinner for Ria again?
あの子すぐ冷凍ご飯で済まそうとするんだもの。栄養が偏るわ。
Talk about overprotective.
ケータリングも商売だからどうしても油や塩分多めで派手な料理しか出てこないし、消化に良くて栄養のあるものは自分で作るしかないの。
You're gonna make somebody a wife someday.
この量じゃ煮物ばかりで焼き料理ができないのはたまに傷ですけれど。
Jokosaki let out a small sigh. Ayaka was taking the initiative, otherwise Ria would only eat things like fried onigiri. That would definitely leave her nutrition lopsided. The only issue was that Ria's illness couldn't be cured through nutrition. Her horrible smoking habit was inconsequential and wouldn't change her metrics. A part of me wondered why Ria couldn't just eat what she wanted. It wasn't really my place to say who was right or wrong in this situation, though. Which meant I couldn't speak out about it.
どこで作ろうかしら。私の部屋だと遠い上2階だから熱々で運んできにくいし。
Oh, why not use Ria's place? She should have a kitchen counter at least.
あの子この時間は寝てるんじゃん。
Yeah, but in my room.
くぬ。
She went into Ria's room looking miffed. There still weren't any signs of us being on friendly terms yet. At the very least, she wasn't being outright hostile toward me anymore. Oh,
来ちゃった。
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. She's asleep right now.
かあ。じゃあ学校に戻るわね。
I mean, we could hang out.
何かあればどうぞ。
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, bye. There were even those who came by just for a quick peek. Everyone appeared to be worried considering not even a day had passed yet since she had been discharged.
ふむふむ。
Oh, you were here?
お姉様とエロイナが学校を出ていくから何かと思い。相馬リアさん。お姉様と幼なじみなのは聞いて知っておりますけれど、皆から愛されておりますのね。
I wouldn't go so far as to say everyone.
Yeah, Akane is still scared of her. I bet nearly everyone who lived in this dorm only acknowledged her as some scary delinquent, for instance. There was no avoiding it. Heck, Ria herself wanted to be unapproachable. But if you took that first step to get closer to her, that's just who she was.
私も仲良くなれますかしら?
She bashfully replied, her interest clearly piqued. Mina-chan and Ria, huh?
That might be tough.
ですの?
Well, because she's about as undisciplined as it gets and a smoker, I doubt the two of you would get along.
そう言われると確かに.
Mina-chan was always incredibly mindful of everything she did, putting her on an entirely different level from someone like Ria.
やっぱり無理なのでしょうか?
She sounded disappointed.
You're just a bit mismatched, but I'm sure she thinks highly of you. Well, you're Sylvie's sister after all.
She was bitter and hated people, but she could also rain down an endless stream of affection upon those she did like. That's just the kind of person she was. Everyone wrapped up their expert planning courses and returned home. Maybe it was about time to wake her up? Once that occurred to me.
できたった.
Jokasaki came out of Ria's room carrying a pot.
お料理部って楽しいのね。今度から参加させてもらおうかしら。
Sylvie followed behind her. That was when I noticed she was carrying several helpings of onigiri bundled in cling wrap.
あら? あら.
Ouro! I went back to my room. Oh good, she hasn't moved.
Hey, Ria.
俺が新しいプロキュアに。夢か。
What kind of dream was that?
なんだもうこんな時間か。あれ?
It's a little early, but dinner's ready for you. 2 whole people made it for you. Aren't you blessed?
Yeah, it took the meat of 2 whole people to prepare this dinner for you. Ria forced a smile. Ordinarily, she'd want to be woken up around this time of day so we could sit on the rooftop and watch the sunset. However, it wasn't likely to pan out with this huge of a gathering. The meals they went to the effort to make would get cold. We gave up on the idea for the day.
飯って何?
Another quick change.
野菜スープよ。消化に良くて栄養のあるものを細かく刻んでじっくり煮てきたわ。
相馬くんが好きだって言うからおにぎり。学校の調理室で焼きおにぎりにしてもらってきたの。ナイスシルビー。イエーイ。イエーイ。
Now, I do think yours is more elaborate.
Ria's diet was just monumentally unbalanced.
これだけじゃ味気ないと思っていたのだけれど、彩香がスープを用意してくれてちょうどよかったわ。4人でいただきましょうか。大所帯だな。ま、俺の分が減らなきゃいいけど。
It was settled. Well, for most of us. One of us wasn't so satisfied.
What's up? Don't like your soup being treated as an add-on?
そこは別にいいのだけど、今日は2人で食べようと思ってきたのに。
Well, that's asking for the moon.
Had she forgotten I was here? No, she just wished I wasn't.
いただきます。いただきます。
Sylvie, what flavor is this? What flavor is this onigiri?
日本の心、梅干しよ。ああ、つまり米の方には味付けしてねえのな。おにぎりってそうでしょ？あ、塩味つけた方が良かった？
あのね、クルスクラウンさん。焼きおにぎりってまずタレとか味付けを作ってそれを染み込ませるようにしてね。
Apparently, Sylvie hadn't known how to make it. Unseasoned fried onigiri was practically a flavorless rice cracker. It didn't even have the flavor of white rice to it.
まあでもこれでも十分だろ。
Ria munched away without a care.
クルスクラウンさんには甘い。
Nah, Ria just prioritizes mouthfeel over flavor.
Exceptional mouthfeel.
ねえリア、スープも飲んで。栄養満点よ。
ええよね。
どう？
うん。栄養って感じ。
It tastes like pulverized veggies.
あなたには聞いてないわよ。
I'm just saying what we're all thinking.
美味しいわ、彩
Except Sylvie.
香。
Jokasaki squirmed, unable to even be angry. As an aside, the modest amount she had used in the dish had made for a healthy yet bland soup.
あ、梅干し出てきた。梅の香りって好き。それにこんだけ酸っぱいとよくわかる。おいしい？相馬くん。まんま。よかった。
There. Those two sometimes get a mood going where even I can't get in a word edgewise.
私が一番リアの体を考えてるのに。
I'd noticed we were on slightly better terms, but if Sylvie was a smooth talker and outstanding prodigy when it came to getting along well with others, then that meant Jokasaki was beyond horrendous at maintaining harmony with others. True story. The four of us engaged in friendly conversation after we finished eating. However, we decided to call it a day once Ria started to yawn.
またね、相馬くん。
食べてすぐ寝るのは良くないわよ。
わーってるって。
We saw those two off.
Okay, on that note.
ちょっと食いすぎたな。彩香が言う通り、すぐ寝ると胃もたれしそう。
Don't you feel like taking a nap, though?
ちょっとな。
She just woke up a little while ago, too.
Your sleep cycle's gotten pretty bad lately, huh?
もともと1日12時間寝てる生活してたし、しょうがねえよ。
Well, yeah, you've always overslept.
She was sleeping more than 12 hours a day. Ria was exhausted the moment she woke up, so there was no avoiding her strange and prolonged sleeping pattern. Even so, I couldn't help but worry.
I wonder if your condition's getting worse.
数字的にはそんなこともない。っていうかこれ以上悪くなりようがないらしいけど。
Don't say that.
悪くなるっていうか、癖がついてるのかもな。しばらく病院で寝るしかやることなかったから、寝る時間を体が長く取るようにって。
That is a fair point. When you are in a hospital, you really don't have a lot of options.
Mm-hmm. You sure?
If it was for some minor reason like that, then that was fine by me.
もしくは。
Yeah?
いや、なんでもない。それよりね、眠気対策しよ。
If you're tired, wouldn't it be better if you slept?
それじゃあおしゃべりできないだろ。そうじゃなくて、ね。
Right.
I took a seat far in on the bed. I stretched out my legs and leaned against the wall.
おい。
She got on my lap.
ギュッてしてギュッて。
You got it.
She went into her spoiled mood, then clung and nuzzled up to me.
ねえ、イチ。俺のこと好き？
You know I do.
ちゃんと聞きたい。
It's embarrassing.
ケチ。
If you tell me how you feel about me, that might make me feel like answering back.
俺が先に言ったのに。まあ俺は別に恥ずかしくないから言えるけどな。イチ。
いけないいけない。ハンカチを忘れちゃったわ。
Dang it, Sylvie, not now.
入るよ、オーロ。
Oh my god.
大好き。
Oh, too late.
おやおや。
あらあらあら。
なんだてめえら。何しに来た？
Ria was in the zone.
ハンカチを忘れちゃって。そしたらいいタイミングだったわ。くそ。
Ria was blushing.
リアちゃんってあんま人目気にしないイメージだったけど、普通に照れるんだね。
It's because it's Sylvie. I guess it's tougher when it's someone she's close to.
ほーん。ちなみにオールは全然動じてないね。
What's wrong with showing off how lovey-dovey I am with my girlfriend? Come on, Ria, come on over. Let's pick up where we left off.
うるせえ。何もやってねえよ、さっきから。
She was blushy and pouting. Interesting.
What's that? Don't be shy. Here, get on my lap. I'll do that smoochy thing you love for you.
オールは相馬くんにラブラブなのね。
You bet I am. I love you, Ria.
Wait, what?
ああ、オーロ。言い損ねてたけど、妹ちゃんが来たよ。
Why do you never call ahead?
Tell me that sooner.
なんだよ、動じないって言ったじゃんよ。
I wasn't. Now I am.
It's different when it's my sister.
It was almost that kind of game.
Almost.
Better settle down for a minute.
シルビア・ル・クルスクラウンだ。これでいいかしら。
What?
最高です。
Oh, she's getting an autograph.
見て見て、オールくん。シルビア様のサインもらっちゃった。
How nice for you.
Yeah, yeah.
マシラ先輩に自慢しよう。
Good for you. So, why are you here?
オールくんに会いに来たんじゃありません。
I reiterate the question. Then why are you here?
リアちゃん、探してるって言ってたこの地区の昔話の本持ってきたよ。
おお、マジか。今度自分で図書館行って探そうと思ってたのに。サンキュー、チェッカ。
いえいえ、ちょうどオールくんのお部屋の抜き打ち検査もしなきゃなって思ってたところだから。
It was a pain to have an overly meddlesome sister.
What's this? Fairy tales?
昔々のことじゃった。お、知ってる？レナ、それ知ってるわ。
Sylvie's just in the background. I understood that reference.
おじいさんは川へ洗濯に、おじいさんは山へ芝刈りに。
それの一種だがそれじゃない。
Keep the story going.
おじいさんが2人で暮らしてなかった？
They were roommates?
Just being considerate to the LGBT community, I'm sure. So, why fairy tales?
ちょっと気になることがあって。んで、チェッカに聞いてみたんだよ。この町の図書館にこういう本ってあるかって。
それで私ちょうど行く機会があったから借りてきたの。リアちゃん、レンタル2週間だから2週間以内に電話して。
ああ、いいよ。自分で返しとくから。 2週間以内にまた来たいの。めんどくせえな。来たいならまんま来いよ。ダチなんだから。そうだよね。
But it'd be best if you didn't. You're a nuisance.
オール君には聞いてません。私はリアちゃんに会いに来るんです。
Then you can barge into her room. Obnoxious. It would unconditionally annoy any man when his little sister got all buddy-buddy with his girlfriend.
This is exactly why I didn't want to invite you over.
何オール君、その言い方。
Anyone who shows up out of the blue without calling first has no right to complain about phrasing.
ちょっとしたサプライズじゃない。この兄弟、いつもこんな感じ？
Oh no, sometimes it's very sketchy.
昔はもうちょっと仲良かった気がする。
Too
ちえか
nice.
ちゃんは相馬くんともずいぶん仲良しなのね。はい、仲良くさせていただいております。もちろんオールとも仲良し。羨ましいわ。そんな拙者シルビア様に奉られましては恐れ多くございまして。
I'm not worthy.
武将かな？
We're not close at all, Sylvie. She's just an irritating little sister.
じゃねえ、コンコンチキが口挟むんじゃねえやい。江戸っ子かな？
Ria was off on her own world reading the book that she'd borrowed. Her expression was sour. She could read on smartphones, TVs, or other things that emitted light, but books were difficult for her due to her poor eyesight. Ria managed to shine just enough light onto the pages to scan its contents.
ねえの。
What is it?
いや、見たかった話。ないっぽい。
But she got through it in no time since she only read the summary.
どんなお話が見たかったの？いや、ほら、小さい頃聞いたことない？この湖に手紙を投げたら過去に届くってやつ。
Huh?
何それ？
It only seemed to click for Ria and Sylvie.
そういう話があったの。小さい頃聞いた覚えがあって、ちょっと気になってさ。でも設定とオチは覚えてるんだけど、間のとこ覚えてねえんだよ。どんな事故があったとか、どんな手紙を送ったとか。あー、わかるわかる。オチが気に入ってる話って、しばらく置いて思い出すと、間の部分が思い出せなくて、モヤモヤするよね。で、読みたくなって図書館にないかと思ったわけだが、ま、よくよく考えたら、手紙って時点でこういう昔話系のやつに載ってるわけねえか。
She shrugged, looking like she'd given up.
そういうのなら、逸話系かな。今度探してくるよ。いや、いいよ。今度は自分で行くから。でも、その本返すときに、私結局行かなきゃだから。一緒に行く？時間作っといてね。彼女さんと妹が仲良くしてると落ち着かないよね、お兄ちゃん。
How did you know?
Knock it off.
As long as Ria looked fine with it, I couldn't exactly complain. Oh boy. 金色ラブリッチェ、ゴールデンタイム。 It's not a sad transition, so I'm okay with it. On our day off,
I'm coming in.
I came to Ria's room and
こうしてデータラぼっちの流した涙が流れて集まって今の浜松湖になったと言われています。へえ。
Sylvie?
she was here. They must have been reading the book that Shieka had brought over together.
本読みにくいから読んでもらってる。
I would have read to you if you'd asked.
いいの？私がやりたいの？
Sylvie does better, she does the voices.
ああ、 それにシルビーの声の方が通りが良くて聞き取りやすい。
What a major shock.
These were local fairy tales?
They were famous, nationally recognized fairy tales like Momotaro and Kintaro, but there were also ones that you'd only hear from the locals. This book was a collection of such stories. It was something that you could find in libraries in most localities.
かぐや姫がこの町のお話で紹介されてたぜ。
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
I forced a smile. It was all too common to present prominent works as something that came from a local area. Probably along the lines of, since Mount Fuji appears at the end of Princess Kaguya, she had to be close to this area. Or something like that. And of course, Nara, Kyoto, and the like had lots of spots that celebrated their local areas too. It could be that they wove in snippets of their locality's characters so that you could read them with fresh eyes once you became an adult.
Anything else?
浜松湖ができた由来とか、弁天さんの由来となった天女伝説とか。
あと貝の神様の話。
あったわね。
The shell god?
Hamamatsu Lake was excavated by an ancient giant. The celestial maiden alighted upon the peasants who lived in this vicinity, and her raiment was enshrined in the Shinto shrine nearby. This much was a vignette anyone who had lived in the city for over a decade would hear sporadically.
日本の神様が真っ赤に焼けた大岩を抱きしめたせいで大やけどを負ったのだけど、それを貝の神様が治したというお話。
Huh.
I never heard this one before.
やけどしたのは大国主の御事なんだっけ。よく出てくる神様だよな。
Sounds like it'd show up in the Chronicles of Japan or records of ancient matters.
Anecdotes of that variety turned up in games and whatnot a bunch, so I at least knew their names.
There's something written in the annotations. Let's see here. Okuninushi is... Susanu's child?
ああ、そいつも聞いたことある。
どなた？
Some old man who waged war with a giant serpent.
Sylvie was well versed in things related to Japan, but it wasn't shocking that she was unfamiliar with myths.
で、この大国なんちゃらさんが旅をしてて、旅の過程でどっかの女の神様と仲良くなる。で、嫉妬した兄弟の神様たちにイノシシを捕まえろって言われて捕まえたら、イノシシじゃなく焼けた大岩で大やけどを負ったのがこの話。
He gets hurt for a terrible reason.
骨肉の争いは神様の間でも怖い。日本も欧州も変わらないわね。
その時の怪我を治したのがこの湖の近くにいる貝の神様なんだとさ。
When you consider his injury came from a sibling dispute, the story drastically loses its value.
キサガイ姫とウムギ姫っていう赤貝とハマグリの神様に薬を塗ってもらって治った。その二人の神様を祀る神社が近くにあると。
I had no idea. Well, gods existed all throughout Japan, so even on a local level, there were a few that would know what sort of anecdotes there may be.
なになに、二人はそれぞれ独立した神格として崇められ、島根には加賀神社、格好神社というそれぞれの姫を祀った神社が。へえ。
There are shrines in Shimane. That's, what can I say? Intense?
強いな。
そうなの？
Shimane Prefecture are shrine pros.
If they were to describe it, they'd go with intense.
強い。
Not that we knew what implication was being pointed out by intense in this case.
でも羨ましいわね。怪我を治してくれる神様か。ごめんなさい。
With that, the mood went from momentarily to decisively tense. You can't apologize, Sylvie. You can't acknowledge that you meant it like that when you said it. Don't acknowledge that Ria's condition is one that only a god could cure.
ま、俺も神頼みは何度かしたよ。その結果、神々に愛されてるとしか思えない確率で10年間寿命が延びたし、また2人に会えた。これ以上は神様も空気読めって言ってくるだろ。望みすぎだよ。
A strained smile arose to her face. Or, not quite. Her face was stiff, like she wanted to smile but couldn't. Sylvie sympathized and her expression went rigid too.
By the way...
I took out my phone.
They had that story you said you wanted to read.
What?
The one where a letter is sent in the past. I checked online and they had it. It's in the Hamana City Stories section.
There was a story like that just sitting on the city's homepage.
マジか。
It's the 21st century. Use the net instead of a library. Here, Sylvie, read it for her.
だな。イチのスマホ小さくて読みづらい。
Sorry.
読んでくれ、シルビー。
はい。
Sylvie happily took a seat again beside Ria. The tense mood had already passed. Whew.
ありがとう、オーラ。
シルビー、早く。
はいはい。
She looked down at my phone. By the way, I knew this since I'd already read it, but not only was this story not a legend, it had apparently first appeared in the Showa era. The whole idea of throwing a letter into a lake came from letters in a bottle, which were popular in that time period. To take it a step further, the story was never to save a friend.
過去の自分に宛てた手紙？
ですって。
To be fair, at least like that era started like 100 years ago. At least it's not like, you know.
True.
This legend first started in 2020.
It was originally to avoid one's own mistakes by addressing a letter to themselves in the past, it seemed.
友達を助ける的なのは？
It was probably added on later. They probably swapped it out since saving a friend is a much more pure and selfless reason to use a mysterious power than, you know, to rectify your own mistakes.
マジかよ。でも車のタイムマシンが出てくる映画でさ、現代の博士が撃たれるのを過去の博士に手紙で教えて、博士が防弾チョッキ着てやり過ごすってのあったじゃん。
It's your kids, Marty. You've got to do something about your kids.
あれと妙に似てるとは思ってたんだ。
Well, I don't think there's a DeLorean in this one.
Well, you don't know that.
You're right, I don't.
I bet it was inspired from those sorts of typical time machine stories.
全部後付けなんだ。ちょっとショック。
まあまあいいじゃない。手紙の行き先が過去の自分だろうと友達だろうとハッピーエンドなのに変わりはないもの。
まあ。
Yeah, that's true.
Ria began to sulk when she learned that the folk tale she liked so much was created more recently than she realized. I didn't think this was anything to be angry about personally.
ねえねえ、例えば過去の自分に手紙が送れるとして、二人ならどんな手紙を送る？
Sylvie took the conversation in a different direction.
どんなって言っても、どうだろう。
Why not send one that says, you'll get to date your beloved Ichi in the future, so keep moving forward?
やかましい。下手な手紙を送って心臓に負荷がかかって寿命が縮んだら困る。
That's not funny.
私はもちろん いずれまた2人に会えるから日本について勉強しておきましょうって書くわ。
Didn't you do a bunch of studying about Japan regardless?
今度はスサノオさんについても勉強してくるの。
I caught her drift now.
オーロはどうする？
最終学歴はシルビーのコネでノーブル学園になるから勉強しなくて OK とか書くか？
I don't want to write that. Besides, I hardly studied, letter or not.
そうでした。
Haven't you seen my grades? If I were to write a letter to myself... Let me think. Maybe something like, Soma's a girl. I figured it'd be better if I remembered at least that much.
Yeah, but then we'd get the letter and we'd forget where we put the letter, and then we'd just forget the whole thing, so...
No, we would get the letter, we would read the letter, we'd forget what it said.
That also works.
We'd be like, something about Soma...
Oh well. I can't remember much about that guy.
でもオーロ、相馬くんのことは名前から忘れてたんじゃなかったかしら？
Well, there we go. She got the better hold than even we had.
Huh, you're right, I did.
頼りになんねえな。
We all laughed together. In the end, I never came up with a good idea for a letter that I'd want to send to the past. Not a letter that I'd especially want to send, anyway. There wasn't anything I really wanted to change.
金色ラブリッチェゴールデンタイム。
The transition was happy, but I am confused.
hey, you're up?
ああ、ちょっと休んでくってなってそのまま寝ちゃったんだっけ。
She had come to the hospital today for a checkup. We borrowed one of the private rooms after her checkup, and she immediately fell asleep.
はあ、検査って疲れる。なんかもう検査するために寿命削ってる気がする。
You shouldn't say stuff like that, especially if this were an emergency. It doesn't look that way to me anyway. They said your labs have improved a lot too.
そう。
Anyway, they said we could go home whenever we're ready, so what do you want to do?
もうちょっと休んでく。ここの病室、時間潰すのにはちょうどいいわ。
That so?
Ria let out a huge yawn when she crawled back into bed.
It's like 4 times bigger than the next biggest yawn.
It's a huge yawn.
I see your sleep schedule hasn't gotten any better.
なかなかだわ。
There were no signs of Ria's sleep schedule improving, as she was sleeping more often than not, and that would likely only get worse as time went on. She would sleep for ages. In fact, her doctors encouraged her to sleep as much as she needed, since sleep deprivation would only worsen her condition. You might even be able to say that her body had increased its sleeping hours as a self-defense mechanism. This was a good thing, so there was no need to be afraid. None at all. But
不安？ 俺が寝ちゃうと不安？
she peeked up at me and asked that with a look like a lost child. Oh man. I definitely was uneasy. So uneasy and anxious that it made my chest feel tight every single time. Will she never wake up again? Was that the last time I got to hear her speak? My heart ached whenever I watched her drift off to sleep. But
Somewhat, anyway. But I'm fine. You really look cute when you're sleeping, after all. Sleep as long as you need. I'll be here waiting for you when you wake up.
She smiled, seemingly glad. All right, good job, me. I was a cool boyfriend.
ねえ、イチ。でも今はまだ寝たくないな。
Yeah?
寝ちゃわないための工夫がいる。今日は数値も良かったんだし。さ。
Hey, what do you...
Dots? Those were some heavy dots.
Are you alright?
大丈夫。だけど、ちょっと疲れた。やば。
Once we were done, she seemed to have realized something and grabbed her phone by the side of the bed.
はい。はい、どうも。わかりました。いえ、帰りますね。どうも。
She hung up.
What was that about?
今日病室に泊まるかだって。清掃があるから。
Ooh, sorry about that.
And they'll be here soon?
逃げないと。
Sorry about the discharge. What are you talking about? Discharge is a normal part of a hospital stay. Not that.
Sure.
The sheets were awfully soggy now. The biggest issue we now faced was her sudden sluggishness. Had that been too much for her? I guess I had no other choice. Right on my back like Yoda.
What's wrong?
おんぶされるのは好きだけど、この時間は人目があるから。
Nobody's around the dorm.
中はまた人がいるだろうが。
True. Not like there was any other way, though. She couldn't stand upright.
はあ、体力戻したいな、早く。
What do you mean come back? You always get like this after sex. It's not so much a stamina issue, more that you're overly sensitive.
やめろっつに。
Sorry.
This wasn't the time to tease her.
まあでも、いつドクターストップかかるかわからないから、その前にいっぱいしようね、1。
Twist my arm, why don't you?
Well, will you be okay if we do that?
It felt like we were playing a game of chicken with her health. Even so, Ria gave me a quiet chuckle and said,
いいじゃん。こうなるのを10年も待ってたんだから。この時間くらい俺の好きにさせてよ。一の特別でいたいんだ。
Well, when she put it that way, I couldn't say anything back. Her desires came first, even if we wound up having regrets later.
これは屋上間に合いそうにないね。
Yeah.
Ria smirked as she looked at the darkening sky overhead. There was no way we'd make it to Ria's favorite spot in time, even if we left now to watch the sunset. But this spot was a different story.
まあ、いっか、ここでも。
If it were just about the scenery, somewhere higher up would be better, though.
I set Ria down. She must have still been too weak in the knees, though, and it didn't look like she could stand. She held on to me as I sat her down in the grassy patch nearby. We peacefully watched the sunset. How many times have we done this before? I'd lost count ages ago, but even so, I never grew tired of it. We smiled as we basked in the gorgeous sight we had seen countless times before.
うが垂れてきた。
Hey now.
The ooze is back. Ria stuck her hand up her skirt and noticed the huge load I'd spewed into her earlier had started to trickle out.
It was like 5 times bigger than the next biggest load.
I handed her tissues.
サンキュー。よくティッシュなんか持ってたな。
I always have tissues on me.
Didn't having these handy make me an even cooler boyfriend?
高い高い。
Rustle, rustle.
はい、サンキュー。
Don't give them back to me.
Sure. What do you want me to do with my own semen?
Well, there's a body of water over there. Set them out to sail.
捨てれば。
I just thought of that don 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 don. We're just saluting as it goes in the water.
Farewell, brave sailors. This is the serious route.
Isn't this the part where the super cool girlfriend would say, "Since it's yours, I can't waste a drop," and hold on to it?
そんなこと言い出す女。メンヘラ入ってるから逃げた方がいいぞ。
Hear that, Jogasaki? Agreed.
ま、大事にする気持ちはあるけどさ。ここが作れるようにできてればな。
She placed her hands on her abdomen. I didn't quite know what to say to her in that moment. Even so, I gently rubbed her back. That still must not have consoled her, and Ria shrugged as if to say, "What can you do?"
いい時間だぜ。
Yeah.
She leaned into my arms as she gazed at the setting sun.
でもね、イチ。
Uh-huh.
俺、今すごく幸せだよ。小さい頃から望んでたもの、全部手に入れたから。こんなに幸せでいいのかなって思うくらい。
Really? I wouldn't actually ask that, though. I was the coolest boyfriend in the world, after all. I existed solely to make her the happiest person in the world, so I couldn't ask whether she was happy or not. Ria appreciated my silence and plonked her head onto my shoulder. Plonk.
この湖が永遠につながっているとして、手紙を流せば過去に届くとして、俺はやっぱり何も送らないと思う。今が幸せすぎて、これ以上何も望まないって。
How about that?
I held her shoulder. Ria was so light that it was tough to tell how much of her weight she had leaned against me. Well, all was well as long as I supported her, even if she put her full weight into it.
やばい、また眠くなってきちゃった。
Get some sleep. I'll carry you back either way. I guess your sleep schedule's pretty much shot, huh?
それはごめんだけど。
Ria relaxed onto my arm.
イチがいつも隣にいてくれるとさ、寝ちゃうのが気持ちいいんだ。前までよりずっと。
Yeah.
It wasn't because she felt sick or anything. Ria seemed to be sleeping because she was having fun. If that's how it was, then there was nothing to worry about.
イチがいるから真っ暗も怖くなくて、闇の中も心地いいからすぐ寝ちゃうんだ。金色より心地いいもの見つけちゃったから。 ちょっと寝るね、イチ。夕飯食べるとき起こして。
I will.
In a rare turn, she prioritized sleep over the sunset and closed her eyes. A day would eventually come where these eyes would never open again. But on this day, she was still fine and snuggled up in my arms.
Good night, Ria. Sweet dreams.
うん。素敵な夢ならいつも見てる。
Oh hey, double achievement. I guess Jokosaki doesn't get an achievement because hers is technically a hidden route.
Yeah, that's true. It makes sense because then you wouldn't actually be able to get it in the normal version that you buy.
That is true, and that wouldn't really work.
No.
Well, you know, I have to say, that was not nearly as depressing as I thought it was going to be, and I'm not mad about it.
No, I thought it would be a lot more. And yeah, I'm not at all mad.
No, it actually, it had a couple of down moments for sure, but I think it was a really nice kind of snapshot from the montage in the last game, where things actually were going pretty well. It's like, yeah, they do have the weight of the inevitable situation with her health looming over them, but in that moment, they are trying to make the best of it and doing a pretty good job. So, I think that was a really nice way to tie things together, especially after seeing the positive that comes from the Maria route. It also kind of, it's interesting because it kind of fleshes out a little bit more about the lake, too, and the whole undoing things. And it's like, oh, well, I wouldn't toss anything, but then eventually we know he does toss the box back into the lake, starting the cycle again.
Like, I still wonder, like, how it works. Like, in my head, it's, it's like a infinite loop. But then somehow there's also a branch where it isn't, where he throws it in and they get it, and then it goes differently. Things just happen slightly differently in a different time,
Well, maybe it's less like a loop and more like a kind of wreath with branches that split off, because there are situations in which he does not, like Reina's route, for example, he does not toss, as far as we can tell, the box back into the lake. So that would be an end branch.
True.
But
True. It's like yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. So it's kind of like actually, maybe a wreath is a good way to describe it. I don't know.
Yeah, actually.
In typical fashion, we are overthinking this, but when you've been doing the game as long as we have, that's just what happens. I'm sure we're driving you all nuts with this now, but
Look, we've been playing this game for 2 years.
2 years, but we're close. So we actually now just have one route left, which means it's time to finally install the patch. Oh boy. So there's going to be interesting stuff that happens in the next episode or 2, potentially.
Probably 2 from what we've seen.
Yeah, if there's a split path, which it sounds like there is, that probably is what will happen. So we'll see. But I like this overall. I feel like it was really refreshing to come out of both of the Ria routes in this fan disc, not feeling completely and totally destroyed.
Yeah.
It was a very satisfying sort of end for her character, and I really appreciate that, because her character's great. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I'm pretty much, I'm just happy, that we got kind of the closest thing to like a happy route that we would get.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, all right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one, where we are finishing things up with Ayaka. Whoa. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.